baby.
Oh!
Yes!
Woo!
Yeah, baby!
This is the Sport Fishing Championship.
A monumental event of the Sport Fishing Championship in Puerto Rico, the Puerto Rico International Billfish Tournament. Team Caramba with one on the line, trying to get a qualified catch and a 300-point value, and just keep adding up those points and maybe take the title here, the event title at the IBT. I'm Robbie Floyd with Peter Miller, and we are seeing a ton of blue marlin being caught this week.
That's right, Robbie. We've got about 40 blue marlin caught and released thus far. There's about maybe 20 pulled hooks, so the bite is fast and furious, and we've got one more day left.
Where are we? We're at stop number 10 of 10 in Puerto Rico, one of our international stops. We've been in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, but we're at Club Nautico on the inside of that little harbor right there. The old San Juan just to our right. We're on site with Site 1, but the fishing grounds, look at that dark water, just only about a mile and a half outside the entrance to that port there. And some of our championship contenders are out there in those waters with the fads, catching fish. And day two, it was even better than day one. In day one, there were 19 blue marlin caught, Peter. Day two, it looks like right now unofficially we're at 20 blue marlin. That's our largest blue marlin catch of a single day in the tournament this year.
That's right, and the bite was early. Once again, 8:32. I mean, that just goes to show you that the bite is close to shore because they cannot leave until 8 a.m., if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, and they will fish until 5:30 on days 1 and 2. They'll have to come in a little bit earlier tomorrow at 4 p.m., but notice some of the team names. You might see some repetition. I mean, that means they've caught for the day multiple blue marlin, and that's 350 points apiece.
That's right. And they'll be working those fads. They'll be going off the fads once the bite shuts off, and they'll be looking for more fertile waters, and then maybe come back to the fads at the end of the day.
Do you see this right here at 12:56? Team quantified catches and released a blue marlin. They're the team that are way out in front in the Sport Fishing Championship, and they back it up at the end of the day at 3:42. They're going from 0 yesterday to hero today, and they are knocking on the door for their third SFC victory out of 10 this year.
That's right, and they had to dig those out. When you travel 2,500 miles from Texas to come to Puerto Rico, you better catch a blue marlin. That is your payoff, and to catch two, that is absolutely fantastic. We know they could do it. Justin Drummond, we knew they could bring one in, at least one, and now they have two.
One of our featured teams on day two, Salvador Ajea on Panama Jack. They were hooked up, and again, it's not just one or two boats. There are many boats, and these blue marlin, they're big in these neck of the woods. You maybe catch a 100-pounder, get it in quick, but you might have a couple 100-pounders.
Yeah, the nice thing about these marlin here, they're migrating through. You know, you don't have the jumbos here, but you have a good amount of fish, and that's what they're showing. They're showing 40 catches thus far. They're bringing their lures in. That fish is kind of sitting there wagging. You know, they want to back down on that fish as soon as they can, but they got to wait till they get the lines in.
It's a 50-foot Viking. You see him reeling down, pulling him up, and that shows you it's probably not a big, but they don't want them too big. The points count just the same.
That's right. If you know, I call them fun size. You can get them about 125, 150 pounds, 200. That's what you want. They come in quickly, use light tackle. They stay high up on the surface. That's where you want them in that water column. You don't want them digging deep on that heavy, heavy tackle.
Salvador Ajea sits in the chair. We got Claudio Espinal on board too. Luis Impanzon, Alfonso Curi. Have a big team now, a rotation of anglers throughout the boat. They'll rotate around that boat. We'll talk about that tomorrow on CBS starting at 9 o'clock in the morning. But once this angler has the fish on, the other two anglers have to reel in and get out of his way.
That's right, but if he's smart and you know the other fish is closer to the boat, they're going to get that other fish first. So they'll make the call what's best for the team. They got that fish on the leader. They're pulling him up. He's winding up that slack on that wind-on leader, and they're showing their colors. They got their colors on their waistband there. That's good advertising.
It's a qualified catch. You see the lures out there, and you know, sometimes, and this is not a live fish tournament, you know, the bait and switch deal, it is a dead fish on there, and you're right, just pop it off. But in this scenario, you want to get that lure that might catch the next fish.
Exactly. If you have a lure that's hot and it's performing, you're going to want to redeploy that thing. You're going to want to retrieve it, then redeploy it. And you can see that pink. We're seeing a lot of pink. We're seeing green squid chains. We're seeing pink lures, red. It's a very vibrant color. You know, it's alerting the fish, and they're coming up and smashing it.
Like some orange in there as well. Everybody's got their favorite colors, that magic touch.
I had the Rasta Rebel back in the day. I used to call it the Rasta Rebel. It looked like it came straight out of Jamaica, and it performed.
And again, they're keeping that boat moving forward, or that boat moving forward just a little bit, and you'll see somebody reach down and want to grab that lure.
You know, so as they're bumping ahead, they're getting the water going through the mouth of the fish, going through the gills, creating the oxygen. They grab that bill. It's a nice sized fish, not very big, you know, 100 pounds maybe. And they're going to get that lure out of his mouth, bring it back in the boat, and they're going to redeploy it as fast as they can.
That's right. That could be a $100 lure back in the boat, and they're looking to catch another one today.
All right. Yeah. Hey. Vamos. Good you. High five, man. Way to go, IBT. Coño, mira.
Tell me about the flag.
That is what they call laundry. You bring your laundry up on your laundry. What do they call that thing? You hang
laundry
it up
line.
Laundry line. Yeah, it's whatever you want to call it. They put them up on the riggers. You know, right side up usually means you've kept the fish back in the day, but you know, here everything is catch and release. So upside down, right side up, doesn't matter. Everything's released.
Everything is a catch and release event here at this one specifically, but for the Sport Fishing Championship, everything is catch and release. And just to throw out some numbers, I think it is 97% plus that they have caught and released so far. I think we're going to be knocking out the 500 mark. I think today it'll be very close to 500 fish caught in the Sport Fishing Championship. The boats are pulling in just behind us, waving live on sportfishingchampionship.com. Hopefully they caught some. You can hear them screaming. It's about having a good time. And Peter.
Hey, there's our guy from South Africa.
Hey, we're going to see him in just a minute.
That's great.
It's very appropriate. But, Peter, it is an international event. They've been doing it for 69 years. We have people from South Africa, United States, all over the world come here because this is big time, and they want to be known as the 69th IBT champion.
It is also very prestigious. You know, when you get invited to come here, it's a very big deal. You know, we have a team that's come here from South Africa, and they were picked actually by the Olympic Committee. I mean, this is some lofty stuff.
Yeah, they're looking. How did it go today? That's the number one, you guys. But Peter, from what we're seeing as far as the numbers, too, it's progressing a little bit more today than yesterday. There's no reason they won't catch even more tomorrow. They just keep replenishing. These fads that are out there in the water just keep bringing more and more and more fish.
That's right, and there's a ton of fish. It's just a question of when these fish are going to come up and eat. You know, they're down there. I've been on fads. I've dove down on fads. We just released a marlin, dive down, another one comes swimming by. So they're plentiful here. These fads will keep the fish around, and then they have the areas where they'll fish other areas that also hold the fish.
Well, think about what was the fad equivalent when we were in the Gulf of Mexico?
The oil rigs.
The oil rigs.
Exactly.
They stay there all the times, the platforms, the rigs, as well as some of those drill ships. Here they have fads. And one of our Gulf Division teams is a team, which one? Bandito, that's right. But here it's different. They're based out of Orange Beach, Alabama. But look where they would have to travel to get to IBT 69. Puerto Rico is a long way. We know one team traveled 500 miles just to get here. I mean, a huge amount of time it would take. So why not partner with a well-established boat and team like Sisu? And that's exactly what Bandito did. Why make that run when you could show up, hop in a boat that you know is a proven winner, and get her done here at the IBT?
That's a good call. The only reason that you would take your boat here, either you're seriously competitive and you have to have it done on your boat, or you're going to come here and fish for 3 months and just lock it down and rent it a place or do an Airbnb and come in and out, fly in and out and catch these marlin. But boy, saving that fuel 2,500 miles, that is a lot of petrol.
So our team, Bandito, they're in the Sport Fishing Championship trying to win a title. They knew they had a shot. If they could get the win here, they catch more blue marlin. Those catch points add up, but they needed some help and a great partnership with Sisu to get it done.
We had planned on bringing our boat actually, and we were going to be kind of pushing it pretty tight time-wise getting down here, and we ended up getting stuck in the boat yard. We had some unforeseen issues come up. Guys on the Sisu were nice enough to let us charter their boat, and so we brought our 3 core people, myself, Bobby Wade and Corky Thomas, and our mate Alex is with us, and also Bobby's wife is going to be an angler as well, Ashley. And Miguel and Juan are really knowledgeable and great fishermen. Normally I'm used to running the boat and staying upstairs in the bridge, and so Miguel will be doing most of the driving this weekend. So mostly what I'm going to do is run the sonar. You know, if it wasn't for the SFC, we probably wouldn't be fishing this tournament ourselves anyway. So really looking forward to that. It's been fun competing against these guys, and you know, there's been, you know, we've had some ups and downs. We missed some fish, which cost us some opportunity and some points, which is unfortunate. But overall, it's been a great series, and looking forward to next year.
Captain Chad Solomon, they've been getting it done all year long, and you want to hear that. You want to hear, we might not have had the best year this season, but we're looking forward to next season already, and they're trying for that victory here as well.
That's right. Every day is a new day when you're fishing. You've got to wipe it, brush yourself off and clean up, and the next day is a brand new day. You don't know what's going to happen, and that's what keeps you coming back. You never know if there's going to be 3 marlin that are going to show up in your spread and going to eat all at once, or you're going to get nothing. So just keep trying.
This is the way it looks right now against Sade Victoria on top. That's because 1050 equals 3 blue marlin, but look at the race for second place. If you have 700, that's 2 blues, and one of those teams is team qualified. They're at the bottom, but they might as well be up at the top of that number 2. They're 1 fish away from not only winning this event, but the Sport Fishing Championship. Cervecita, it means little beer. I'm sure they cracked open a few last night. They had the first blue marlin of the IBT 69. We'll see them in a bit.
SFC coverage of the San Juan International Billfish Tournament is sponsored by Salt Life, by Seahome Watches, and by Smith Optics.
Remember, everything begins in the morning. Every story told is a fisherman's tale. We build watches tough enough to be a part of that tale. The perfect balance of beauty and brawn. We are Seahome. Watches that last a lifetime. Seahome Automatic, the official timepiece of the Sport Fishing Championship.
See it, live it, love it. The largest in-water boat show in the world, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. More than 3 million square feet, fishing boats to super yachts, engines, accessories, learning experiences, and culinary delights. Save the dates, October 26th through 30th. Details at flibs.com.
It all comes back to the water. This binding agent, this fluid history of connection, past, present, and future, all tied together through this never-ending, unwavering force. We belong to a community of seekers, anglers, and everyone in between. For us, it's more than fishing, much more. It's who we are, who we were, and who we aspire to be. We are Smith.
Yeah, baby! That's what I'm talking about! Sport fishing anglers from around the world, competing for $1 million. The Sport Fishing Championship on CBS Sports Network.
When it comes to performance, comfort, and functionality, we've got you covered. Performance apparel designed by anglers to make your time on the water better than ever. Salt Life, the official apparel sponsor of the Sport Fishing Championship.
Sometimes saying no can be really difficult. It's hard to set boundaries, to give yourself space and time. Hop water means never having to choose between having fun or missing out. A sparkling hop water full of flavor and packed with mood-boosting benefits that's non-alcoholic with no calories, no carbs, and no sugar. So go out there and get up to no good.
In Puerto Rico, we call ourselves Boricua, a unique name honoring our island heritage and the vibrant spirit of our people. When you bask in the warmth of our beaches, when you taste the love in our food, when you embrace the call of our adventures, you'll find that spirit in yourself. Dare to live every moment. Live Boricua.
SFC coverage of the San Juan International Billfish Tournament is sponsored by Yugo, by Sword Fishing Products, and by Fish Razor.
You're looking at live shots as the 58 boats roll back in for the completion of day number 2 of the Sport Fishing Championship finale, the 69th International Billfish Tournament from San Juan, Puerto Rico.
All right, I gotta say, it's pretty exciting to be standing here with all those boats parading in, and one boat did it with style. They came in backwards. You know, they're backing down while everyone's going forward, and they were kind of sliding through the pack, and I like his style.
What about this boat in style? Team Cervecita, they caught one on day number 1 at 8:33. I mean, that was only 30 minutes after launch. That's getting it done pretty solid.
Yeah, that's right. They got right to that spot, right to the edge, maybe their first fad, put the baits out, and that fish was in the spread within seconds, I bet.
Javier Berrios. It's that point where they're backing it up. They're trying to get closer, trying to gain ground on that fish.
And there's that leader touch on the wind-on leader, and as he pulls on it, he's going to wind up that slack right into the reel. Make sure you want to spread it out back and forth, and boy, what a nice jump, nice send-off.
That feeling, I know some people say, oh, if I catch the first fish, I'm doomed for the rest of the tournament. You want to catch that first fish. In the Sport Fishing Championship, you get a bonus for catching the first blue marlin of the tournament. 350 points is turned into 450
And it
points.
also builds and boosts your confidence because you've caught that fish. You feel good about where you're fishing. You feel good about the lures and the techniques you're using. So you feel good about the rest of your tournament at that point.
Solid run from that 52 Viking, Rafael Aguayo, Javier Berrios, Jorge Garcia, and Orlando Novara on that boat. But Team Triple Tail got a couple of triple tails in the mix as well here. And, you know, it's hard to tell them apart. We know, what is it, Horacio's on one of those, but these featured boats seem to be hanging around that same area. There's a reason. Those fads are bringing those fish in.
Yeah, it's a tight pack. You know, when I flew in, I saw the boats sitting there stacked one by one by one all the way down the row.
Great story here with this team. We heard about the South Africans. How did they get here to Puerto Rico?
South Africa's had a long relationship and a symbiotic relationship with the guys from Puerto Rico, and specifically the Club Náutico de San Juan IBT. If I stand to correction, I think we go back about 38 or 40 years, where a team from South Africa comes here, and the team, like myself, only 3 people, we're actually a national selected squad, which basically means that we're representing South Africa as we're selected by a national selection board, which is sanctioned by the Olympic Committee of South Africa. The mere fact that we get hosted on the boats of friends, it's a great concept. Catching a fish is actually a bonus in that we get to meet different people. As the internationals, we kind of rotate onto host boats, for want of a better word. And the hosts are kind enough, the owners, to put up us, and we get to meet them. It's challenging sometimes because Espanol poquito is not very good, you know, and sometimes the English is also not good. So with a bit of Spanglish, we kind of get by. But the mere fact that we're meeting all the different people, young, old, and that, it's a great, great concept. From the point of South Africa and us, we are absolutely privileged and honored to get the invite from Club Náutico de San Juan to come and represent our country here. And we do our best. We've had reasonable success over the years. And this year we're a little bit slow, but it ain't over until the fat lady sings. And we're waiting for that fat lady to sing.
She's not going to sing till tomorrow, and hopefully they have 3 or 4 blue marlin on there. This is a very proud country, South Africa. I know several world champions in the motorsport side, whether it be Tomas Schechter or Grant Langston, fishing as well. They are just as proud about, you know, representing their country, their nation, especially when the Olympic Committee is the one that decides you get to come here.
Oh, this is lofty stuff there, Robbie. I mean, you know, you're getting invited to come to international tournament from an Olympic committee in an industry that's worth $130 billion annually. This is intense stuff, and I absolutely love the camaraderie.
One of our teams, Team Caramba Yo, is here in the U.S. He talked about Spanglish. Well, yeah, if something happens like that, you're like, oh, no, ay, caramba. Things are getting a little crazy. Things got crazy for Caramba here. They had a blue marlin on, and of course they made that qualifying catch, right?
That is some heat right there. We got a man down. I think he's going to be all right, but we got a man down. Piper down.
Playing it like a banjo.
A day out on the water could go great. Or it could have a few minor setbacks. Things could get rough. Or you could lose that $900 smartphone. Whatever the problem, Yugo provides unmatched premium protection for any water sports adventure. Yugo. To get yours, visit YugoWear.com or simply scan the QR code on the screen. And remember, just add water.
Slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Yeah, baby! That's what I'm talking about! Sport fishing anglers from around the world competing for $1 million. The Sport Fishing Championship on CBS Sports Network.
When you're serious, you are as excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. fishing trip as you were when you were a kid. It means winning 3 World Sailfish Championships. It means you know what you need and what you don't. Being serious means seeking out the ultimate fishing machine, which is what Peter Miller has found in the unmatched handling, speed, and comfort of an Invincible.
It all comes back to the water. This binding agent. This fluid history of connection. Past, present, and future, all tied together through this never-ending, unwavering force. We belong to a community of seekers, anglers, and everyone in between. For us, it's more than fishing, much more. It's who we are, who we were, and who we aspire to be. We are Smith.
In Puerto Rico, we call ourselves Boricua, a unique name honoring our island heritage and the vibrant spirit of our people. When you stroll our welcoming streets, when you immerse in the beauty that surrounds you, when you experience the magic of our home, you'll find that spirit in yourself. Dare to live every moment. Live Boricua.
SFC coverage of the San Juan International Billfish Tournament is sponsored by Vineyard Wind, by Audi of San Juan, and by Invincible Boats.
Welcome back to San Juan, Puerto Rico, where one of these teams fishing today, and we've got a high possibility that it's going to be quantified, is going to be winning that Zane Grey Trophy. They brought it out, Peter, and this lead crystal would look perfect in your hands, my hands, but we have no shot. We didn't fish at least 3 SFC tournaments, but the prestige to be tied with the Zane Grey and doing that and winning the SFC in its inaugural year, this is something they will never forget. Let's take a look back with Smith Optics instead of a look forward. We're looking back at the 9 events prior to this when we kicked it all off in Louisiana. Hurricane Hole, it was an awesome start for Moncherie with 6 blue marlin caught.
A completely different fishery. These guys are bridling live tunas on to catch jumbo marlin, and then we work our way down, but the Gulf had a lot of big fish.
Absolutely. Doña Lucy, we saw a ton of whites, over 100 billfish caught, 100 whites caught in that one. They won at the last second, half a buck quantified with their first victory in the Gulf Coast Masters. But you see them with the Gulf Coast Masters, the ECP BC, and they finished second to Sigsbee Deep at the TIFT event in Texas just a couple of weeks ago. That's why they're in the lead in this Sport Fishing Championship. I mean, a first, a third, and we only take their 3 best.
It's about consistency, Robbie. Anybody on any day can run over a fish and do well, catch that big fish and win it for the day. But if you can keep coming back week after week after week and performing and being the top of the leaderboard, you got it covered. And that's why you are team quantified and you ran 2,500 miles from Texas to Puerto Rico.
All of our teams passed Castillo San Felipe del Morro the past 2 days and headed out to these fishing waters. Team Caramba, boy, they had a good one going, didn't they? I mean, we saw it going to break. They had a good catch, a 350 pointer, and then what went wrong, Peter?
A lot of good things happening there, backing down. They got the leader, everything's going great, but you want to get your baits back out. So sometimes you're going to cup the spool. You're going to try to do things to kind of finish it off. And let's take a look.
This 64-foot Briggs with Rafael Calderon, Juan Colon, Emilio Marquez. They were on board just waiting for that call. Again, there's 3 anglers at any given time that are trying to catch these fish. As soon as the first angler hooks up, the other 2 have to reel in. If there's multiple caught at the same time, okay, the first guy that caught the fish will take priority.
And then you rotate. You take a rod for an hour in each corner. You do a clockwise rotation. So in case the fish are always biting on the right side, you're going to get your shot over there as an individual angler.
Now, whether it be the mate or the captain, 99% of the time, you said this morning, they're looking backwards. They're not looking forward. Now, you look to make sure you're not going to run into anybody, but you're looking back to see that fish pop up, Robbie, and come after the teaser.
Look at that fish chasing that teaser right there. We got a green squid chain, and we got a bait at the end of it. Dead bait, and that marlin's hopped up on it, and they want to do that bait and switch. You can see him fired up, but you got to get it away from him. He gets wrapped up with his bill on that teaser. He is going to leave. So you got to get it away and put that bait right in his face. That's what he's doing right now. He's got the tip up. He's got it in that second wave, and he's dropping back.
That teaser itself does not have a hook in it. That bait does have one. That's what they're trying to get him on, and they're free spooling that bad boy at this time. He wants to get it and run away with it.
Oh, yeah. And they're keeping it in gear. You never know if there's going to be a second fish there. He's tight right now. That fish is ripping drag. They're getting the baits in. You never know if another fish is going to show up in the spread. So give it a second, then stop, bring everything in, and then you're going to back down on that fish.
This is a look back from earlier. Team Caramba, and there's the other 2 anglers. As we said, they have to bring their lines back in. So everything's working perfect, right? You tease them up, you bring them in, you drop back the bait, the dead bait, and you get one on the line. They're still pulling forward.
Oh, yeah, they're actually still at trolling speed, which leads me to believe there might be a second blue there.
Well, we're seeing this guy reel in. Now we're seeing the other 2.
The captain's bumping forward. He's trying to stay tight on that fish, but it sounds like there could be another fish there.
And the thing is, with these guys trolling at a certain speed and they're bringing in that teaser that's on the left side, the trolling speed is about 8 miles an hour, maybe, at best 9.
About 7, 8 knots, that's right.
All right, so Victor's set now. Now they can slow down. They know that hook is well embedded into the side of that fish's mouth. They're going to get it on.
Take a deep breath. Save your energy when the fish is running. Straighten your arm out.
Now they're making up ground. The second they made that push to start backing it up, he's got to start reeling hard.
What happens there, Robbie, is you'll feel a little wiggle, a little waggle on that fish down deep. Something changes, and then they know they're going to say, hey, he's coming up, he's going to jump. And, of course, he's on the surface back there, just as we said that. And they're backing up to that fish, closing the gap, filling the cockpit with water, getting a little shower.
You want to be soaked at the end of the day. It means you did something special.
I don't think I've ever finished a fishing day without my sneakers being completely saturated.
Now, the line they use, the gear that they use, this isn't the big heavyweight stuff that we've seen in tournaments past.
This is perfect setup. These are like 30s and 50 size reels. They're using 30 to 50 pound test, and it's monofilament, wind-on leaders, 250 pound to 300 pound on their baits when they're pitching back to these blue marlin. You don't know what you're going to find. You might get a big fish. You're going to want to.
There's a qualified catch right there. As soon as that mate makes contact with that leader, or that leader makes it up to the rod tip, that is a qualified catch. Watch how that captain's having to move that boat around.
Oh, you got to spin that thing on a dime, and that's exactly what he's doing. You see all that whitewash, and that fish is making more whitewash than the boat at this point. You always want to keep it centered. You don't want that fish to get ahead of you.
Captain doing a great job steering that vessel facing backwards the entire time. Oh.
Okay, we got a man down. We got a piper down, and he's on the deck. But
dude, he was laying the wood to it. I mean, Victor Garcia was laying it to it. Don't worry, nobody saw it, Victor. You're solid. You're good.
It looks like weekend at Bernie's, but I assure you, folks, everything is okay.
Reason we know that because everybody was laughing, and they know that they have a cameraman on board. Even the captain's going, "Oh, I got video of that, dude. You're not gonna live that one down." Oh my goodness, watch this. Again, it's already a qualified catch as soon as he makes contact with that leader.
I'll show you my favorite jump. It's coming up. It's when he goes parallel to the boat and shows the side of his fish, the full side coming up here. There it is. That's the one.
That was awesome. Looked like a painting.
Gorgeous.
St. Greg wrote a story about this, and this is when it went wrong. I mean, he is pulling hard, a little too hard.
That's right. That's cupping the spool. That's trying to get the fight over with, redeploy and catch another fish. That was the goal there, but doesn't always happen like that. That was a full wipeout.
You want to see a solid mate? Look at the man in the white shirt. Look what he has in his hand. He's got a red Solo cup. What does he do? He passes it on to the man down. He said, "Sir, you need to have some refreshing Gatorade because that was a hard-fought fight."
I am 99% that is refreshing rum and Coke.
It may very well be a little Q special sauce out there. Ay caramba, that's what it turned into. But caramba with a 350-point fish, and that's what it's all about here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We have yet to see a sailfish. We have yet to see a white marlin, but what we have seen is how many now? We're at 39, maybe even 40 when we get the official word, blue marlin caught in these first 2 days.
That's a lot of blue marlin being caught. And what's great about this tournament is that the fish are plentiful. You know, we have 40 fish, but there's also 20 to 30 pulled hooks. So all those fish that were missed may come back again if they weren't, they weren't stung too hard. But listen, there are 9 boats with 2 fish. There's a tie for 9 places with 2 fish. One sailfish will break that tie and put that boat into second place overall. So, you got to play the game. You got to play the cards and see what happens. You might want to go inshore and catch a sailfish.
And that's as far as the Sport Fishing Championship points are concerned, because, again, you get 75 for a sail and 350 for the blue marlin. But as far as this event's concerned, that sailfish could be as many points as that blue marlin. They have a little different point structure. Team Quantified, you have to be impressed with them catching one there towards the end after blanking. We talked to Justin last night. Not so happy, was he?
I saw Justin. He was very serious last night. He was leaving the event. I said, "Hey, Justin, we've known each other a long time. What do you think?" And he goes, "Peter, great to see you, buddy, but I got to get home. I got to get my sleep, and we've got to get regathered and get our composure because we didn't get a bite today. But today, they got 2.
The other thing about, their motives, their styles, they're seeing these fish. Some of the people don't have the electronics, but these guys can catch fish anywhere in the country. And I believe only one person on that boat is from the area. So, I mean, it shows you the quality of anglers that are on board.
That's consistency. That's, 2,500 miles, and they make their way to Puerto Rico from Texas. That shows dedication. That shows preparedness. That shows coming together with a plan, with an entire team, getting a first, a second. And here they are with 2 fish. They're tied for second place. All they need is a couple more points to just get them right there.
So you're saying there's a chance, and wouldn't that be a great way to cap it off? Taking the victory here at the IBT. There's Team Quantified. They're 1 fish away. You know what? We're heading to Fiesta Tipica in just a bit. Another party here. You can check us out tomorrow live on CBS Sports Network at 9 o'clock in the morning. It will also be on an hour before that for a little recap, some of the same stuff you saw here, and maybe some updates. We'll talk to some of these guys. You ready?
Oh, yeah, Robbie. We're going to get some really nice footage from these guys that just came in. We got our live feeds, but then we also have cards from the guys that are categorizing everything they caught today, and they're capturing it on film.
Sky Elements drone show is going to be tonight, so if you're in the San Juan, Puerto Rico area, make sure you look up in the sky. You'll see something special. We'll bring it to you tomorrow morning. CBS Sports Network. It's going to be a great show, and we are only 2/3 through. It's a great day. For Peter Miller, I'm Robbie Floyd. We'll see you in the morning, and we'll see you on CBS Sports Network at 9 o'clock.